Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour. This is the show where we talk about everything from comic books to action figures and everything in between. My name is Aiden, and I hope that you're doing well today. So, in this video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of the McFarlane Toys DC Direct Gold Label Rival Flash. So, I bought this figure at Toronto Fan Expo 2025. That was at the end of August. It's currently the middle of September at the time of recording. So it's been a couple of weeks since I bought this. So if you're a longtime viewer, then you've already seen this on my channel where I talked about the things that I bought at Fan Expo this year. So I just want to open her up and show you the articulation and get a closer look at the actual paint and sculpting and give you my thoughts. So let's get this bad boy open. I really like the McFarlane Toys packaging. The boxes look very nice, and there's no read up or anything. There's just a panel from a comic book, but yeah. All right. So we get a few accessories. We get some extra hands, and it looks like some running effects in the form of lightning, which is cool. But let's actually get them out of the shell so that we can take a closer look. Whoops, geez. Alright, so here he is out of the box. Let's get him into a more natural, sort of relaxed pose before we try anything crazy. So here he is in all of his glory. I really like the colors. It's a sort of maroon red as opposed to a brighter red for the Flash, and a more mustard colored yellow for his emblem, and it's a navy blue for his trousers, and a dark brown, sort of like chestnut, for his boots. And we've got the gold wings, the steel helmet, and then the little gold highlights there, and then we get the lightning coming out of his eyes to signify how fast he is. But so that's a lighter blue, but I really like how it's more dark shades. And he even has sort of like a Italian looking skin tone, even though I don't think that Edward Clariss is an Italian name. But yeah, so here's the figure, closer look. And I really like the musculature. The sculpting on his muscles looks very nice and defined, and sleek, but also well, not as sleek as the Flash, but you know, still powerful looking, and I like that. So let's go over the articulation. So he can turn his head 360 degrees. He can look down, he can look up, he can tilt his head, and he can move his arms around. There are butterfly joints, so he has a great range of motion. And we've got the cut at the deltoid. Turn that around. Cut out the bicep, double jointed elbows, and hinges and ball joints at the wrist, so you can move his wrist around. And then there's an ab crunch, so you can lean forwards and backwards. There is hip rotation, and you can kick his legs out and then back. Double jointed knees. You can move his ankle up and down, side to side, and tilt it. And there is a hinge at his toes, so you can point his toes up and down. And that is all we have for the articulation, but it is very, very cool. And we get, you know, running pose, running hands, or karate chop hands, however you want to put it, that come out of the box as is, but you get fisted hands and open palmed hands, and like I said, that lightning effect. So that's really cool. And all McFarlane Toys figurines come with a stand and a trading card. So here's the trading card. If you want to pause the video to read it, just gives his name and a little background information, and there's the same panel from the back. But yeah, so that my initial thoughts are very positive. But let's cut over to my desk so that we can do the size comparison and see how he stacks up next to other DC figures and figures from other toy lines. Alright, so here we have the rival Flash standing next to Green Lantern, and this is Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, and they fit together very well. They're around the same height, although I think that GL is slightly taller. And I know for a fact that Wonder Woman is taller, and I don't like the one thing about McFarlane Toys and Hasbro that I don't like is how difficult it is to have the figurines stand up without a stand. But so that's, you know, the only deduction in points I really have to give it. But here he is standing next to Wonder Woman. She's taller than him. And here is Superman. Because of the way that Superman is, you know, sculpted to have a wide stance, he is a bit shorter, but in the comic books, Superman is taller than the rival because he's taller than the Flash, and the Flash and rival are, you know, the same basically. But the figurine of the rival is slightly taller than this version of Superman, at least. Then let's move over to Hasbro with the Marvel Legends Iron Man Model 1. This one is a bit stockier and shorter, but different scaling because it's a different company, but they look good together. Another Hasbro Marvel figure I want to put up here is the Invisible Woman from Fantastic Four, the animated series. And again, it is a big hassle to get these to stand up, but he is taller than her by quite a bit. And let's finish this off with a Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series. Chewbacca is my tallest action figure. He's not even in frame fully because he's so tall. That's what she said. But yeah, so I really like this figure. Like I said, I really like how the paint is sort of the reverse of the Flash, because this is the reverse Flash from the Golden Age, so one would expect that sort of artistic license to be taken. Here's a back shot. No Diddy. But on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being horrific and 10 being amazing, I'd have to give this a 9. The only reason why it is not a 10 is because of needing a stand to, allow it to stand, because a figure should be able to stand on its own 2 feet, but because I don't know why the industry seems to think that the way that they manufacture their toys is good because they need a stand, but in terms of appearance and functionality, I gotta give it its due, but that one tiny misstep is the only reason why it's not a perfect 10 out of 10. But I really do like this toy, and I would definitely recommend that you buy it. I bought this from a vendor at Fan Expo for $20, so I don't know how much it would cost retail, but that's how much I spent on this, and I'm happy with that purchase because it's a lot less expensive than in the stores or online. For example, Amazon.ca, they always have figures on for like $30 or $35 or even $40, and sometimes, depending on what figure, it could be even more. For example, Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi is $70 frickin' Canadian on Amazon last time I checked. So honestly, I don't know why they decided to make them so expensive, but regular retail price of $30 is fine because that's what the stores want. But if you buy it from a guy at a convention like I did, then you can either get a lower price or you can even negotiate, because one time I negotiated $5 off of a comic from a guy at Fan Expo. So you can do that, and you can go to garage sales and comic shops, and I'm sure they've got them there. But enough ranting and raving about economics. That's all I have for you today on this episode of the National Timely Action Hour. Once again, my name is Aidan, and I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, then please click the like button, and if you didn't, then I apologize, but you can hit the dislike button. And if you're new to my show and want to check out more action figure reviews or comic book reviews or anything like that, then please subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when I post new videos, and leave a comment suggesting any future episodes you'd like to see, and give me your feedback on this one. And in the description, I'll leave a link to my podcast, so please subscribe there. and I'll also leave a link to my social media profiles so you can stay up to date with my channel and send me a message. And I'll also leave a link to my merch store and Patreon page, so if you'd like to support this show financially, I'd greatly appreciate that. And thank you so much for watching, and I sincerely hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.